I believe that if we are genuinely interested in moving this country forward, we can move forward. Ojukwu said it several times, it will be difficult to exist on our own. And we told him, we don't have any other place outside our hometown, and Nigeria does not want us. So declare this thing. They will fight us, we'll try. And when he declared it, I know Hassan Katsina said, it's going to last for 48 hours. That was how the war started. And it lasted for nearly 3 years. It started on the, I think, 7th of July and ended on the 12th of January. July 1937, 12th of January 1970. It's all part of our history. And I think it's good for us to forget all about this history of ours. If we have learned lessons from this history, let us now use those lessons. But we don't seem to be keen on experimenting with the lessons we must have learned from all this history that I've just given to you. When Nigeria became independent, I was already in St. John's College, Kaduna, in 1960. I know Nigeria's history through and through. Let us be honest for a change. Ojukwu looked for all means of ensuring that the country does not break up. He went to Aburi. All the agreements that were reached in Aburi were reneged on by the Nigerian government under General Gawan. In fact, the BBC then made a statement. The BBC said that Ojukwu, who is an Oxford graduate, had outsmarted Gawan. That was what the BBC said. It was this same BBC that said after the military coup that the Igbos have decapitated the leadership of the North. See, when you talk about the Igbos, there's always this tendency to feel that Igbos are not part of this country. There are 3 major tribes that make up Nigeria, Hausa, Igbo, Yoruba. And before the creation of 12 states, we had 4 regions: the North, the West, the East, and the Midwest. Whatever we are compelled to endure today as Igbo is the direct consequence of the coup of January 15. It was organized by soldiers. They know best why they organized the coup. I cannot tell you this is the person who was in charge of that coup or who led it, because I'm not a soldier, I wasn't there. But because the most prominent name during that coup was Chukwumanzogu, there is this conclusion that it was an Igbo coup. And if you look at developments, they tend to justify an assumption. And I'll tell you why. People were killed in the north, Madubelo, Fabalewa, etc., and some soldiers. In the west, Adelabu was killed. In the Midwest, Okotiebo was killed. In the East, nobody was touched. It was intact. The person who was mandated to eliminate M.I. Okpara was Ifeanyi. That was when Archbishop Macarius was visiting. And his excuse was that he couldn't kill Okpara in front of Archbishop Macarius. And this was why the coup failed in the East. So because the coup failed in the East and succeeded in other parts of the country, gave rise to this general feeling that it was an Igbo coup. Then of course, the name Chukwuma Nzogu. Chukwuma Kaduna Nzogu was an ex-student of St. John's College, Kaduna. That was my school. He left the school before I came in. From what I hear, was very close to the president of the North there, the premier of the North there, and he handled the operation up north. I was in Zaria then. The Nigerian Railways with my father. And what happened directly afterwards, particularly on the 29th of July, a terrible experience. And then it just continued to ricochet like that. 29th of September. Suddenly, the social media is awash with materials about January 15 and the aftermath. And I begin to ask myself, why is it necessary at this time to dig into the past? You see, give a dog a bad name and you hang it. There's a clamor for Igbo presidency. So all the things are being churned out. I don't believe that we are serious about the unity of this country. I don't think so. If we are sometimes, well, we should be bold enough to tell ourselves that bygones be bygone. If you keep looking backwards, you can never move forwards. We made our mistakes. We can forget that mistake, those mistakes now, and turn a new leaf. If we are serious about wanting this country to move forward, then you ask yourself, why can't the Igbos and the Yorubas get together in a political union? I will give you the answer. It's going to be very difficult. The Igbo man is not a very astute politician, no. If you hurt the Igbo man once, he's not likely to ever forget it. The Igbo man does not believe that perfidy is an ingredient of politics, treachery, no. So in the late 50s, Dr. Nnamdikanu, who was then in charge of the NCNC, by the way, he didn't just acquire the NCNC, no. Herbert Macaulay was the person in charge of the NCNC. Herbert Macaulay died in Kanu in 1946. Before then, he had made Zik the secretary of the NCNC. So when he died, Zik naturally assumed headship of the party. It was not an Igbo party. This was why Zik was able to win an election in Western Nigeria. What happened? It was his responsibility to form the government. The night before he was to form that government, all the Yoruba adherents of that party moved over to Obafemi Awolowo's action group. Quote me his history. Ask Femi Fani-Kayode, he will tell you what I'm telling you now. Because he's a young man that believes in the truth. He doesn't think that distorting history will do us any good. From that moment till now, the Igbos have had a very deep distrust for the Yoruba man. It is a very, very simple thing. That's it. Now, Zik ran down to the east. From what I read, because I was in the north, I heard that Edochie was in charge here in the east, and that Zik displaced him, took over as premier, and Edochie left and went home to Calabar. That's what I read, that's what I heard. I have not tried to conduct any kind of research to authenticate this. I didn't believe it was necessary, but from what I hear, this is the source of the discord that exists between us and our brothers who are from Calabar. That's what I heard. So you see, if you dig deep into our evolutionary political history, you will see the reason why there are these prejudices that can't die very, very easily. I was raised in northern Nigeria. My best friends are from northern Nigeria. I was compelled to migrate to the south because of violence, internecine violence, and they have to stay to be killed. Now, on the 27th of May, Nigeria was broken into 12 states. It was political. All of us who have been killed in various parts of the country had come back. Ojukwu said, come back. If they don't want us, let us at least stay in our hometowns. They were killing people from Cross River, from Rivers, Goja. Yes, they were killing them because we all look alike. Ojukwu asked us, would you want Biafra? I would say, well, since we're not wanted in Nigeria, give us Biafra. He did not on his own pull out of Nigeria. Please, let his spirit rest in peace. He was compelled to. General Gowon is still alive. He's a Christian. I believe that if you approach him, he will tell you exactly what I am telling you now. A lot of people will tell you that Ojukwu broke away. Ojukwu declared, let us be honest for a change. Ojukwu looked for all means of ensuring that the country does not break up. He went to Aburi. All the agreements that were reached in Aburi were reneged on by the Nigerian government under General Gowon. In fact, the BBC then made a statement. The BBC said that Ojukwu, who is an Oxford graduate, had outsmarted Gowon. That was what the BBC said. It was this same BBC that said after the military coup that the Igbos have decapitated the leadership of the North, and the North is doing nothing about it. Major Richardson and Boyle, who and Amadu Bello then, said something will be done about it. And I think it was Suleiman Takuman who said, we are keeping quiet, not because we don't know what to do. When the time comes, we'll do what we have to do. All this is history, right? I keep saying it again. Why has it become necessary to unearth all these things now? Why? I believe that if we are genuinely interested in moving this country forward, we can move forward. Ojukwu said it several times, it will be difficult to exist on our own. And we told him, we don't have any other place outside our hometown, and Nigeria does not want us. So declare this thing. They will fight us, we'll try. And when he declared it, I know Hassan Katsina said, it's going to last for 48 hours. That was how the war started. And it lasted for nearly 3 years. It started on the, I think, 7th of July and ended on the 12th of January. July 1937, 12th of January 1970. It's all part of our history. And I think it's good for us to forget all about this history of ours. If we have learned lessons from this history, let us now use those lessons. But we don't seem to be keen on experimenting with the lessons we must have learned from all this history that I've just given to you. We don't. And you ask yourself, do we really want this country to remain in one piece? The West is beginning to clamor for Oduduwa. The East wants Biafra. The Niger Delta says they want to be on their own. Now, we have never seen the South get together and have all their governors meet and talk with one voice, no, because of distrust. But there's something I think they could do. Now that many parts of the country believe that we require some panacea to keep this country together. I remember that Jonathan organized a confab before he lost to Buhari. And I said to myself, why don't we dig out the deliberations of this confab and know what they contain? Why must we run away from the truth all the time? Why? For as long as we keep agitating as individuals for restructuring without actually saying this is an articulate blueprint, this is what we want, I don't think we are ever likely to. Why? There are people who think that restructuring may introduce some kind of reform, and that this reform may reform them out of political power. So, let's not talk about it. Let us forget it. People will talk and talk and talk and get tired. Things will be the way they are. You know, I feel happy that I saw Nigeria when Nigeria was one united country. And I am happy that I am part of the political process that saw Nigeria as a united country, because I made my own contribution in my own small way. I've been very obedient as a young man. You know, I'm not obsessed with politics. I'm not really very fond of politicians, you know. Anybody who speaks with a forked tongue, I don't get too close to that person. But you see, because Aristotle said that man is a political animal, I am a political animal, which entitles me to entertain political views, political sentiments, etc., even without expressing them. I've been asked a couple of times, Pete, at 73, you're not a kid. Of course I'm not. Who is your favorite politician? I have never minced words in telling them Obafemi Awolowo. Yeah, Awolowo is my favorite politician. I'll talk about him in the present tense for very obvious reasons. Now, Awolowo was the only politician in this country I know who would tell you, I am going to execute this project. It is going to cost so and so amount, and this is where I will get the money from. No other politician has succeeded in doing that. No. At the time when a lot of people were expecting us to see Awolowo through Zeke's eyes or through political eyes, and I said, look, I'm old enough to know what I want from people. No, you don't go to tell me this is the man you must prefer because he's your kinsman. I don't believe in such things, no. I may not have agreed with most of his policies, let's be honest, right? Because in some cases, of course, he tended to be parochial. But when he came up with free education, all the people in the West then, even people of Igbo stock, benefited from it. And for that, I owe him eternal gratitude. So when I talk about him as my ideal politician, it is because he says, I'm going to do this, and he goes ahead and he does it. He wasn't used to lying and all this, what we experience these days. No. He wasn't. And actually, Awolowo was a man of few words. He never spoke much. He was laconic. He wants to do this. This is what I'm going to do. And well, of course, he was an economist and a lawyer. So he didn't believe very much in over investing in language and the rest of them. No, he did not. So he remains my favorite politician.
All right. So, what is your thought about this? Honestly speaking, Prophet Edochie took time to explain these things, and believe in me, a lot of things he said here are things that I've been wondering, are things I've been asking questions about. Today, I know more about it. It's just unfortunate that this unfairness. Well, anyway, drop your comment on the comment section, whatever you think about it, all right? Just drop your own thoughts. We'll discuss at the comment section, all right? So thank you. I appreciate you for watching. And in case you're coming across my channel for the first time, please do well to subscribe, all right? Thank you, and God bless you.